Wow. It's
There
a
we
new
go.
day and we are back.
Feeling good. Been up since 4:15 a.m. We're here.
Yeah, that's wild.
I'm saying, that's what runners do. We get up, you know what I'm saying? We hit the track, when we get miles in, then we go to the gym, we work out, and then by what? 11 o'clock, we have a fucking beer. Oh my God.
Miller Lite in hand.
I'm watching my calorie intake.
Right. Got to get them carbs up. It's all part of the diet. Welcome back to the Runners Club podcast. You know what it is. If you haven't already, like and subscribe, leave a comment, send us your listener letters. I'm Courtney Phillips, your co-host.
You already know it's Ian Gonzalez. Every time I say a last name, I feel like I gotta say mine, even though my name don't ring like that.
It does. You have to make it ring like that. You have to say it with the confidence to make it ring like that.
Okay. I'm your co-host, Ian Gonzalez.
Period.
Back with another episode. How you feeling, man? I ain't spoke to you for real in a minute.
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling positive. I'm feeling like I'm hitting a stride.
Oh.
No pun intended, but I'm also I'm post HTC. I'm getting settled in the house. Like we literally have 3 boxes left in the house right now, and it's just clothing because I'm about to build out my closet. I have like a semi walk-in closet. Like it's a door you can walk through. Is it a big room? No, it's very closed. It's small. Like once these YouTube videos come up and you do see the ones of me in my closet, you can see how small that closet is. But it's still it's not like you could still walk in it.
You can walk
and
in
turn the light on. You know,
you can walk in it. You can't do no jumping jacks in that motherfucker, but you can walk in it.
Yeah, jumping jacks would be difficult. So to maximize space, I'm looking at IKEA closet build outs, maximize the wall space.
Yeah, the Swedes know what they're doing.
You know what I mean? Look, don't make me go down that rabbit hole.
IKEA is where it's at.
So once that's built out, then I'm really about to be done with these boxes. And I realized that I've spent months at this point living and functioning with a very limited amount of my usual closet, right? Like I picked the things that I wanted to move with, and I've been running with it since. What? So many puns. I just don't understand. But I just been running with it, and I realized like, okay, half the clothes that I brought with me, like it's not that I don't like it, it's just not my style anymore, or I've just moved on. Like the Cali life is giving me new vibes. It's giving me I need to refresh my wardrobe. So I'll be selling things. Yes, I'll be selling things and donating things.
This episode was brought to you by Courtney's Closet.
It is, because that's my update so far in this moment.
Mm-hmm. So we gotta hit HTC things. We got to.
Yeah, HTC's coming.
I'm enjoying that. I've been like holding out, talking to you so I can hear about the journey of HTC. But that's fire. Listen, I'm 2000% with you. You and Julius signed the same space. Julius is updating his wardrobe. So
well, he's growing. He has to.
Listen, that boy, he knew he had a mission this year for his junior year of school, and he got the shirts he wanted, the sizes, the pants. He do the butterfly hair clips in his locks. He got the jewelry. My man's got stones and shit. Like it's the whole thing. Oh yeah, he mashed out. He got the earrings with the little dangly thing. He got the cross. Like sometimes he got both dangles, and then sometimes he just got the hoop in one ear. Like he be showing up. Like my man's he ordered a Halo the other day.
Oh, like
he was
on his iPad?
Nah, he ordered a Halo for him to wear.
Right, but like how?
Oh, on Amazon. Well,
you said Julius, or are you saying August?
Julius.
Oh, Julius. See, I got confused. I was like, August is doing all this stuff. I'm sorry.
No.
I'm like, he's like 4 years old. I don't get it.
August
Okay,
went
you're
to
a
pre-K
teenager. Got
ready.
it. I was like, whoa,
August went
he's
to
stepping in
pre-K
hot. He ain't
ready.
even really in school yet.
August said ABCs. Fuck
You
all
said junior
that.
year. I said, is this what we do? Is this what we call it now? Like, I'm confused. I was so certain you were talking
You
about
thought it
August.
was
I was
August.
like,
Oh
wow,
my
this is incredible.
God.
I need an Instagram page immediately.
August pull up like I'll show you fundamentals, real.
Right.
No, actually August did start pre-K. So
Okay.
he started this week. He pulled up. He was really excited about it. You know, I'm not gonna say that, but he was he was really happy. He was really
Good.
happy. Got him a nice little program out in Oak Forest where his mom stays. So it was it was really nice. He was excited to finally be going to school like everybody else. All the a lot of the kids is having a difficult time leaving their parents and stuff like that. August was like, where do I hang my shit up?
It's time for me to
Oh,
fly.
you said sit on the carpet? Say less. Like I'm gonna
Right.
sit right here. I'm good, Like
Give me
you know,
something to do. August
what's
likes
the
to be
mathematics?
right. Like he loves to, I feel like he loves to be like mentally stimulated. He likes to do things.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He likes order. He likes to get I'm just wondering like were they ready for him? Because his vocabulary, his expression has really grown in the last 6 months. His
Yeah.
conversations is it's a little wild, like so I'm curious to see, how they are receiving him, how they're accepting him. He lives out in the suburbs now, so he is in a predominantly white space. So I'm just really curious. I think it was like one other biracial kid in his class.
Oh my God.
Um, like that was pretty much it. And that little boy looked mad cool. So I hope they be friends and shit right now.
Probably.
Yeah, I'm hoping. I'm hoping. But it was a really good experience to drop him off for his first day of school. I mean,
Yeah.
with Julius's first day of school. But now Julius is a junior and he is living his best little androgynous life.
He's locking in.
Oh, he locking in. He like, yeah, me and my homies, I'm finna order the Halo because me and my homies, we coming up to school dressing like a different this every week and stuff like that. I'm like, oh, like he's like, I'm gonna send you the money right now. Just place the order on Amazon.
You know what to do.
You know what to do. Next day, Prime. You got Prime, right?
Right. That should need to
Okay,
come tomorrow.
tomorrow. So
Tonight if it can.
he is ready. He is
Right.
ready. Listen, I'm not gonna be surprised if he ain't lighting sage in the next 2 weeks in his room.
Wow. Wow.
You know, talking about how capitalism is just bringing down his vibes. Oh yeah. Oh you haven't had a conversation with Julius.
No, Julius never talks
Oh.
to me. He just sits there and nods his head and then looks at his phone every time I've seen him.
Oh yeah,
That's
Julius.
okay.
Capitalism is evil. He's really into fatalism. Like his
Fatalism?
yeah, yeah, yeah. I can't really explain it, but it's a thing. You
Okay.
know, it's yeah, it's a
He's a
wild. It's
philosopher now. He's learning different ways of thinking.
uh, I would say yeah if he read books, but like this is all brought to you by various YouTube
The World
pages.
Wide Web.
Oh yeah, I was like, bro, you gotta fact check some of this. You gotta
Live
go
some
to
life
reliable
first and then
resources,
we can
and
talk.
also
Yeah,
that
live
he'd be
some
like, yeah,
life first. Yeah.
he like the world is just this place. I was like, Julius, you grew
My
up on the south
son.
side of Chicago. You have been nowhere, nowhere.
Yeah.
You've only been on 3 different expressways. Like, no, like you can't speak about the world. Like, relax.
You should encourage him, or I guess my suggestion would be to encourage him to sign up for like a international program or like a study abroad program, and then you could get like I mean, you could probably get the fee covered, with like, because they always have financial and stuff like that. But
Or
like,
study abroad. That
yeah,
sounds
or
dope.
like a thing where he could go and experience something even for like a week, because like there's
Yeah.
programs that aren't like there's programs that are like 6 months a year that you can do in high school, but then there's programs that I'm pretty sure you can do like over the summer or for like spring break,
Yeah.
just to get him outside of the Midwest,
Yeah.
to like,
Oh,
you
that's
know,
dope. Let me write that down. That's
that's what I
fire.
did. And that's some shit that, I mean, like, cause I was definitely on the same like vibe when I was in high school, college. Like
Okay.
I went into college with a major in philosophy. Like I
Really?
was annoying as fuck. Like I was
Really?
so annoying. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But I studied abroad 3 times between high school and college, and it definitely
What?
informed a lot of my thinking. So, and it's possible at his age.
Oh, yes. I'm sending that. I'm sending that to Karen right now. We need to find a study about program
Yeah.
with Julie.
I'll God, there was one. When I remember the name of the program that I was in high school, I'll send it to you. But that's
Please
going
do.
to be a
Please do.
deep, deep thought
Shouts out to all our
situation.
listeners. If you
Yeah.
got kids, think about this. Get your
Yeah.
kids out here because they whole world, like Julius is experiencing the entire world through Discord and this Discord and Twitter, which is just two and YouTube, the three scariest things to ever mold a child's mind.
Yeah.
It's wild. So
It
no,
is.
I'm gonna definitely try that out. But
Wow.
let me hit you.
Back to
Let me hit you.
school.
I'm gonna talk a little bit more because this episode is gonna be really Courtney heavy in a minute. So I'm gonna talk. I'm gonna talk a little bit more. I'm gonna get into running a little bit because the we're in Chicago. We are reaching peak week. Okay, I think this might come out after peak week, but right now it's peak week life. We got the 20-miler this weekend with Heartbreak. Shouts out to Luke and them. I'm sure it's going to be a fire ass event. So we got a lot of runners doing their 20-milers. They eat a lot of them, honestly, which is surprising me. Like a lot of runners have already done 20 miles at least once or twice.
I've seen it. Yeah. Like
Yeah,
some people did their 20 miles last week. It's
yeah.
becoming
Like,
more, and I don't mean to interrupt. I'm sorry. I just
go
feel
ahead, go
like
ahead.
it's becoming more and more common to see runners do multiple 20 milers now. Cause like, there was a time where it was like, nah, you stick to the program, you do it once, that's it.
Yeah.
Now you're like, okay, so you're doing this stuff for the third time.
Yeah, like is that you know what? I do agree that once you get to a certain level, like
It's
especially if you
whatever.
want to get faster, you should hit it more than once. But like
Yeah.
some people are doing it like through like either they're doing 20 milers like 3 times or they doing like 20 milers and a 22 miler. Like they doing a lot of running. Okay. But keep listen to your body. Okay. Listen, actually, I'm not even gonna speak too much on motivating y'all for P week. I'm gonna say go check out Coach Robin's Coach Quip. Even
Mm.
if this is past peak week that you listen to this, but she did on her podcast, Coach Quip, she did a peak week inspirational joint. It's like 4 minutes and 35 seconds. And I think what she talks about on there applies to not just peak week, but even during the taper process and even on race day. Like your
Mhm.
body has built up to this point. Trust the process, trust everything you've done. Yes, this is a big number, but you built up to this. Your body
Right.
has adapted so many times over the last 20 weeks and you will be ready. Go check out Coach Robbins' Coach Quip. Like that shit was fire. I listened to it last night when I was taking a shower. I was like hopped in when it started. I was done by the time it ended. And I was like, I feel like really, really fucking motivated.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, that motivation did not transfer over to my run this morning. My run was horrible, actually. But I say all that to say that like trust the process and get these fucking miles for this weekend. Like it's going to be amazing.
So, okay, well, yes, but what are you doing with your run? How's the training going?
The
What
training is
made
wild.
today not go so well?
I don't know. I think legs are just tired. Like I'm another 10-week marathon training program is what I'm doing. I did it for the RTL marathon and it was like rough as hell. And so I signed up for the Toronto Marathon and guess what? I only got like 10 weeks of training for it. So here we are a few weeks into this, and the legs are tired. Like I put on volume very, 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 very fast.
Mhm.
I've also introduced a lot of, like, not a lot, but some weightlifting consistently back into my program. So I think my legs are just tired today. Sometimes your body just don't want to move. Like, I knew the workout was gonna be rough when I was doing
Mhm.
the 2 mile warm up, and on mile one I was walking. Like, I knew. I was like, okay,
This is rough, yeah.
this is not going to go well. I will say though, I did hit my times when I got back to the track. I was like, so Thursday mornings I go to Montrose to work out because Karen is a windrunner now. So she goes to run with him
Shouts
in
out to
Montrose.
her and the Windrunners.
You already
Very
know, gang
cool that
gang.
she's on the team.
Yup, yup. I'm the official bag carrier, water boy. That's what that's my job. But no, so when I go, of course, when runners, for those who don't know, is all women's running
Sub-elite
sub elite
runners. Yeah.
runners running crew, right, for Nike. And so, like, I respect that she's going to this place. It makes sense for me to come out in the morning because we're in the city. I need to come to the city. She comes to the city to work on Thursdays. Like, it just makes sense for me to come in the morning with her. But I do my best to stay removed from them. Like, I don't want I, I'm big. I don't want to and put my presence on their space too much. It's a safe space for women. I don't want to be the man in there coming and encroaching, right?
Mhm.
Um, but today I was like, man, I kind of use a track. I'm trying to do like 10 400s this morning, and I don't want to do it on the lakefront trail. So I did my 2 miles on the lakefront, came back, did my 400s on the track. I think by my third or fourth one, they was going to do their cool down. They had a really short workout today in comparison to what it normally is. So for the most part, I did most of it while they was gone, and I was pretty much hitting my times. Like, I was
Mhm.
doing a pretty decent job. And shout out to I'm gonna get this name so wrong. I think her name is Angelica. I think she runs with Fleavy. She is an older lady, and she was coming past me just as I was starting, maybe my sixth to seventh 400.
Yeah.
And so my short interval time is like a 7:09, right? So she passed me, and of course I start a little hot. I'm under 7 miles and stuff, and I'm gonna cool down and settle in. That's what I'm thinking, right? She comes past me as soon as I start. So I'm starting basically at her pace because I'm running faster than my targeted pace was.
Yeah.
And that lady never slowed down. Like, and I was like, yo, I'm not slowing down, man. And I know she was not thinking about me, but I was thinking about her the whole time.
Right.
That lady was moving. She was moving. She was clearing like a 6:30 the entire time. And by the time we got to the second turn on the other
Yeah.
side of the track, yeah, I was like at least 3 or 4 steps behind her. She had picked it up on me. I think she felt
She
it. She was
definitely
like,
knew you were there and was trying to be like, "Look, little man, young
I,
young buck."
like, I wasn't gonna be disrespectful and try to like power through and pass her up or nothing
Right,
like
right,
that.
right.
So I was checking myself, but I was like, I wasn't expecting you to do all this, lady, because she was like I said, she was running when I was starting. And I think she did another loop. So she wasn't even doing 400s at that pace.
Damn.
Crazy. She was crazy. So shouts out to her. But I did hit my times. I skipped the cool down. I did it like I walked around the lap. I walked around the track. I didn't do like usually my 1 mile cool down. Um, but it feels good. I will say though, my long run last weekend, other than the torrential rain that we ran through, I was like well in front of marathon pace, and I felt good.
Yeah.
I felt real, real good. I ran that long run. It was 16 miles. I did that a lot faster than I was supposed to be doing, and it felt like super, super, super amazing. But when we came back, we had to break it down because we wanted to run with Tortugas, and it was on a Sunday. We did a long run on a Sunday, so we parked at Harrison Park with Tortugas,
Mhm.
ran 4.6 miles to 7 on Sundays, ran 7 miles to 7 on Sundays, then ran back
To
to
your
Harrison
car.
Park. right, to the car. So we run it back, and we running up 22nd Street, and Karen like, baby, it's about to storm. It's gonna be real bad. Like, I know, I see it. We need to try to make it. By mile 14, my legs are cooked. I'm like, my legs was like, hey, that wasn't marathon pace, bro. That was a lot faster. So I'm getting tired, but I'm
Right.
still, I'm like, now I'm falling down to what my targeted marathon pace is, right?
Yeah.
We hit 18th Street, like 18th and Halsted, and we start running up 18th. Oh, God turned the faucet on. I mean, it wasn't even raining. It was pouring water.
I
Like,
heard that there was a flash flood.
probably, I couldn't believe it. Like, it was
That's what
coming
Mike told
down.
me.
It was coming down like that for at least 15, 20 minutes while we was running up 18th Street. So we get, and longer than that, because when we got to the car, it was still pouring down. Um,
Damn.
so we standing out there in the rain waiting for Tortugas to pop up.
Oh, this was the
Um,
beginning?
no, this the
Not the
end.
end. Okay,
This
okay.
the end. Yeah, this the end. We stayed pretty much dry during most of the run. We probably got rained on like the last 5K.
Wait, so then okay.
Yeah.
So Tortugas starts later than 7 on Sundays.
Yeah.
So you knew you were gonna finish with them so that you parked over there. Got it.
Yeah,
Got
yeah,
it, got it, got it, got
and
it.
that would have pushed our run out to 18 miles
Yeah.
because the run between King Drive and Harrison Park was like a half a mile or a mile longer
Uh-huh.
than I expected. So we get there, we waiting on them. Some tell me check their IG. They be like, nah, we not doing it. We going to breakfast, right? Ain't nobody finna run in this rain. So now we sitting out here drenched and everything. We got dry clothes. We
Yeah.
hop in the car. So we hop in the car, the windows fog up because our body's hot, right?
Right.
So you can't see in the car. So I'm like, well, fuck it then. I'm gonna change in the car. So we in the car, butt ass naked, changing into our dry ass clothes
Right.
on 18th Street in front of Harrison Park. And like we was wringing our clothes out, like we open the door and wring the clothes out in the door. And I'm telling you, it could feel like 2 cups of water just with my shirt.
That's wild.
Just with my shirt. And then we went and had breakfast with Tortugas, which was delicious.
Yeah. Where'd you go?
Cinco Rabanes. I don't know. It was on 18th and Woods though. It's right on the corner, right at the stop sign
Yeah.
on the north side of the street. Oh, they had this horchata coffee.
That sounds delicious.
Oh, I had two of them. I had one for breakfast and one to go.
Yeah.
It was amazing. It was amazing. The food was fire. The company was amazing. I found the new anime friends at Tortugas. It was like Sunday was a beautiful day.
Beautiful. Wow. Wow.
Running has been decent, man. I've been really enjoying it. I've been really, really feeling good after like 3-4 weeks of like struggling
Mhm.
because I wasn't in shape. Like I feel really, really good where I am. And I feel like this training cycle is really gonna set me up for success for next year.
Good. Good.
You
And
know?
Toronto's coming up. That's November.
Toronto is in October. It's like a week
October.
after Chicago, which I'm hoping Chicago don't burn me out and get me tired. Like I might take the entire week off. Well, it depends on how this marathon merch sells, but
Mhm.
I'm gonna try and take a few days off before Toronto just to be mentally prepared for Toronto because Chicago can be mentally taxing
Yeah. Try to get
for
off your
me,
feet
man. You know, because
because you're gonna be on your feet a lot.
I'm gonna be on my feet all weekend.
Yeah, and then like
Yes.
yeah, it'll be good. You're about to do a lot already.
It's gonna be fun though.
Mm-hmm.
I'm waiting on you to tell me that we figured it out. We coming.
To Toronto or
Yeah.
to Chicago. Oh yeah. Well, I'm going to Toronto the beginning of November for a wedding, so I'm like,
Mm,
yeah.
but
There's also speaking of Toronto, there's the escape project is going from Niagara Falls, right? Are you guys doing that? That's in November, right?
no, that's
Oh,
the
the
same time.
Toronto. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. That's what
it's the
that
same
is.
time.
Yeah.
So Aaron just explained it to me today, actually. We fly in on Thursday, and then we drive directly down to Niagara. And then the run starts at midnight back to Toronto. So I'm not running. I'm driving. I will be driving.
Yeah.
All of that. But I was like, I was gonna stay in Toronto while they went, but I was like, I want to see Niagara Falls, and like, ain't
Yeah.
nobody finna just go back to see
Definitely.
Niagara Falls with me. Like,
Definitely. Yeah.
Aaron is gonna be like, no, fam, I've seen
No,
that
I
a
was
dozen
there.
times. Right. Yeah, I know that this probably ain't
You
even her
missed
first
it.
time
Had to be
seeing it.
there.
Right.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. So I'm like, I better go while it's good, watch the
Yeah.
water, and watch these fools run back to Toronto.
Well, that'll be a good time to watch. I'll watch via social. But I do plan on being in the city for the marathon.
Hmm.
Um, yeah.
Look, y'all already know what's happening. Mile 23 is about to be live.
Yeah.
Music, food, the fam is pulling up. All of us gonna be there. 7 on Sunday, gumbo, grocery. I think the peace runners pulling up. Like it's if you thought last year was live, nah. This
That
one is
was
gonna
just a
be
start. I mean,
that
because
was
y'all
the
was
start.
like, this needs to happen, and now it's like, okay, every year from this point on, it's just like
The
gonna get better
elevation.
and better. Yeah.
Elevation. The elevation is gonna be
Elevate,
crazy.
elevate, elevate.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and diddy this shit every year. I'm gonna try and go harder every year. We're gonna do an all white party one
That's
year.
exact. I'm
Now
like, you trying
23.
to do an all white party?
Yeah, all white party. But it's gonna be busting. Pull up. If your family and friends need somewhere to watch you, to enjoy themselves while they out there waiting on your ass to run for hours to get to the end,
Mile
we are like
23.
Mile 23. We right by the green line, so they can also hop right there on the green line, shoot downtown, catch you at the finish. It's a really, really convenient place to be, especially if you got family members who's following around the city, who's gonna start downtown, see you on the north side, see you out west. This is a great place for them to end their journey, if you will. So it's the last 5K of the race. It's where a lot of people really love and need that energy. That was feedback we got last year. So we're gonna keep that. Everybody's welcome. You ain't gotta be part of one of the run crews that I just named. Everybody can pull up and just enjoy the vibes. We out there all day.
That includes the run clubs that are not in the city too. I think
Yeah,
that's like the more the merrier for that.
yeah, yeah.
So
Yes. Pull up. Listen, come through. We got DJs. Bring your song
DJs
selections.
S with an S at the end.
Oh yeah, It's sets.
Plural.
It's sets. It's this a little Lala. It's a little Lala
Lala.
at 35th in Indiana.
It's a running festival, G.
You already know. You
Honestly,
already
though,
know.
it's like Lala doesn't have none on the Chicago Marathon. Chicago
Mm-mm.
Marathon's a big literally like Chicago Marathon is like
Yeah,
it's like if it's not the number one, it's like top 2
yeah.
events in the
In the
city.
city. Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
literally.
Yeah. Oh hell yeah! It's probably got to be number 1 or 2,
Yeah.
2000%. Especially since the taste of Chicago
The
is
amount
like,
of people, because you can't fit that many people in one space. Like, you know what I mean? You can but you need to be out. This is like, all throughout the city. Not to mention all the personnel behind the scenes. Crazy. Don't make me go down that rabbit
yeah,
hole again because I geek.
yeah. You geeked out when you went because you saw it last year. Yeah, I remember you telling us.
Yeah.
Listen, well, it's gonna be the one to remember, and I think it's gonna be even bigger just because we kind of passed the big boogeyman that was COVID-19. A lot of people feel more comfortable to be in spaces where there's people. Everybody's outside. Everybody's boosted up. So I think the field is gonna be bigger. The crowds are gonna be louder, and it's just gonna be way more energy. Way more energy.
Hmm.
Oh, shameless plug right now. Last Stop Corner Store will have the marathon gear. We're gonna have the fast pack. So if you want the fly ass alpha flies for race day, we got the special fast pack coming through. But we also have official Chicago Marathon merch and finisher gear pulling up for y'all come race days. Quantities are limited. So pull up as quickly as you can before it's gone.
Yeah.
Because you know Nike.com gonna be going real quick. But I don't know. That's all. That's all I got. Like that was my whole spiel. Like that was everything. Like I'm feeling good. I'm feeling mad sexy. Like getting on camera on the days that I live got me feeling different right now. You know what I'm saying? My muscles feeling all tight in the right spots and shit. Like
Extra pumped.
you feel me? And I'm gonna start hopping on here with nothing but tanks in the wintertime.
Yeah, that. I'm starting to feel living in LA right now with just like seeing everybody on social media talk about how like summer's over.
Gee, like like that shit just ended. Like one
Every year.
like
It's just one day it's hot and the next day it's not.
but it was different this year. Like it just did an Irish goodbye. Like it just like and it was like mad early too. Like earlier than it's been in the last few years. Like all of a sudden, like early, like late August, early September, it's trees with no leaves on it. Like it's chilly. Like ain't no humidity. You know,
Dang.
it's like mad weird. Like we thought we was gonna be burning up well until October, like the last few years it's been. Nah, nah. Chicago is like, oh, y'all been talking shit. Y'all been wanting to
Here
fall
you
on
go.
this, right?
Here you go. Okay, so prediction time. What do you think the weather's going to be like for the marathon? But
Oh,
yeah.
oh,
With
oh,
what's
shit.
happened so far, what you think? Because remember last year, everybody was saying, well, everyone was, yeah, it was hot. It was
Mm.
overcast, but it was hot.
The humidity was
The
smacking
humidity was
last year.
crazy. Yeah.
I think we're gonna have a pretty chilly morning this year. I think
Good.
that's pretty much what it's been feeling like. The temperatures have been getting up in the high 70s, low 80s, but in the morning, it's like I wore a hoodie for a while this morning. Like it's been mad chilly. I think the earlier you start, the better because by like 9, 10 o'clock, you're gonna start. If it's not overcast, that sun is gonna be busted, and all of a sudden, it's gonna be hot. It's gonna be real hot on you. So I I don't
But
think
if
we're
it's
gonna have no
cold though,
overcast.
it might not be like in 2019. I remember it was cold and it stayed cold. Actually, no,
Mhm.
I took my shirt. I took my like zip off,
Yeah,
half zip off. I remember that, but like it was like 40, 35, 40 degrees when I stepped out into the corrals in 2019. It was
really.
cold. Yeah, it was cold. You don't remember
Oh,
that?
I'm a big nigga.
Everybody
Temperatures is
had their
everything.
like stuff on, and then you know how everyone throws their extra clothes
The
out to the
hoodies
side.
and stuff. Yeah,
Yeah, it was cold.
right, right. No, you're right. You're right because niggas
Remember,
was like, you could see your breath.
it was cold.
You're
Yeah.
right. You're right. You're right. You're right.
The
Yeah.
sun came out and it was nice, but ultimately it was like a pretty chilly like
Yeah.
marathon.
I don't think it's gonna be that cold in the morning, but I think those are the vibes for this year. I think it's gonna be a little bit warmer than that though. I think like
Hopefully.
60s.
Yeah.
Yeah. Late
I remember it
60s.
was at
early
least 40
70s.
degrees. Maybe I'm exaggerating. It was like
I
45,
It might have been in
but
the 50s, G,
it
but I
was
feel
40. I remember it was
you.
40s. I remember that shit was
He
cold.
said,
I just
"Oh,
remember
no."
checking my phone like this is some bullshit.
Well, y'all already know dress pop proper.
Bring
Wear what you've been
layers.
wearing. Let's go.
Yeah.
Um,
Get your throwaway layers ready. Hit up the Goodwill. Get the sweatpants that you don't care about, or
yep.
just rather actually take the sweatpants that you was already planning on donating, put them on, and then when you're
Right.
ready, toss that to the side, and then they'll donate it for you.
That is a cheat code though. Like
Yeah,
hit the thrift store and get you something you don't mind donating. Cause that's what they do.
back
They pick
donating
up
back.
yeah, yeah. Cause that's what they do. They pick up all them clothes that we leave at the
Yeah,
start line and they
yeah,
donate them. So
yeah.
that's smart. If it is cold, if it is chilly, I know you don't want to lose your windbreaker, you don't want to lose your running pants, like, but you
Hmm.
also know it's gonna warm up later in the race. Bring
Yeah,
some shit you can just take off and throw up.
yeah,
And
and you
slow
can do
down.
that at any point. I
Yeah.
believe. Oh.
Yeah. True. But I don't know. That is the news here from Chicago. Back to you in LA, Courtney.
Well, here I have a overcast. It was really this actually kind of cool this morning and it's felt really nice. I think it's finally started to cool down. Like last week, it was like
Mm,
hot. It was like 90s,
mm,
like damn near all week. Like
mm,
high 80s, low to mid 90s. And then like some days I would drive out and like my car was saying it was 100 degrees. So it was
yeah.
hot, like midday it was hot. But again, like every morning and evening it cooled. As soon as that sun dips, it's like the perfect temperature. And
Yeah.
so now it finally is cooling down and it's like high 70s, low 80s, like it says through like Saturday. And
Okay.
so like
Okay.
this morning I went for a run in my neighborhood and there's like it's cloudy today. So I mean the sun again, like the sun is supposed to come out around like 12 or 1 o'clock.
Okay.
But which is every day. It's like but then some days it's sunny all day. But like when it's overcast, the sun will come out. Or hey, it rained for the first
Oh.
time. There was a tropical storm, I guess, that actually came down the coast, like the West Coast.
Yeah, I heard y'all was like went from a drought to like y'all was supposed to have like 3, 4 days of torrential rain.
It was only one. Like it was literally like and it actually rained, and it was the first time it had rained since
Since
I
you've been there.
moved. So, and it was actually really nice, like just to, and it didn't get super muggy the next day. It was just the next day felt like a little bit cooler, which was really nice. I
Oh, that's
haven't
dope.
now, and to your point, I'm not again hit up by like my utility companies talking about only water your grass before 7 and after 7 p.m. Like before 9 a.m. and after 7 p.m. And my neighbor across the street be watering his grass all throughout the midday. And it's like, my G, if you water your freaking lawn middle of the day and the sun is beaming down, that's just gonna evaporate. And then
Yeah.
you're not really is it water your water when the sun is down. Like I'm getting texts from the utilities company, and then like I had a electrical outage in our house because like one of the lines that goes through our neighborhood like
Uh,
had was like in threat of setting on fire, so then they just turned it off and I'm like
it just turned that bitch out.
this and so then you get like I got a notification about that. I was like, what the fuck am I supposed to do right
Yeah.
now? But like
Like, ayo, medieval times for the next
it's
three
crazy.
hours.
I was like, this is how y'all live out here. Like
You got you got
this
20 minutes to charge your phone.
they said, and it was on, and then it was off, and then it was on, and then it was. I was just like, "Shit, dang!" Like, good thing my everything is charged. Like, I was like, y'all could really
That's
be fucking shit
wild.
up. Like, good thing I have like tethering on my phone, like on my internet.
Right.
Like, um, but that
No,
has
I've
only
been
happened once.
scared for you. I've been scared for you, G. I've been thinking about you. You've been in my prayers.
Why?
You been because social media have been like wilding on like LA and
Yeah.
California with all like the violence and the robberies and stuff like that. Like, yo, you be in my heart, G, because I know you be out there like gallivanting and shit, like looking mad fly and clean. And it's just like, oh my God, social media got me scared.
Well, I mean, it's the same. I would say that it's the same thing. Like, yeah. I mean, I
So,
don't
like,
really
let me
hear
ask you a
these things because
question.
I guess I don't have the same. Because I mean, even when I was in Chicago, people would be like, "You're gonna get robbed." I just feel like I've heard it everywhere I've lived. So then I just don't even like. But I mind my business. I also don't live like I avoid certain areas.
Yeah. Because I was seeing videos of moms. They be like broad daylight just pulling up in restaurants. Like,
Where
I don't know the
in
names of the
LA?
restaurants
What are you
in
talking?
LA though. They
I
just be pulling
know.
up I'm gonna send you the post. They just pulling up in restaurants broad daylight. Like you be sitting outside, enjoying your vegan salad, and next thing you got a criminal in your face. That's just what
Yeah,
I've been seeing. It's been wild. The propaganda on LA has been heavy on my timeline.
yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna.
How's it feel on ground zero? You feel good? You feel safe?
Yeah, I'm just living my life,
Hmm.
going for walks with Remy. Yesterday we played fetch at the park over in View Park and with her new frisbee, and I've just been getting the house together. Yeah, I just been chilling. I don't
Okay.
even I'm
I
like
love it.
I've been going
I'm
I went
happy to
to
hear it.
been hitting the gym. Um
You
yeah, I
weightlifting
don't
now?
know. What?
You weightlifting?
Yes. Yes,
How's
but then I
that
caught
going?
COVID.
You got
Yes,
the vid.
I got the bid and I was so confused. I was like, "Why is my throat hurt? And why does this thing feel like it's moving from my throat to my lungs?" And Matthew was like, "You need to take a COVID test." And then I'm like, "Okay." And then because I'm like, "I'm trying to tell you I don't feel good." And he was just like, he like tossed a COVID test my way. And I'm like, "Nigga, you're not gonna open it up. You're not gonna like
No,
help me."
no,
Like,
that's how you get it.
but he had already had it. He had it like a few weeks ago back in Minnesota, and he came back when he was testing negative. So, like, I don't think I got it from him, but like,
Right,
I got it, and then Russell got it like literally the day after, talking about,
right.
oh, my throat hurts. I'm like, nigga. And it was like 3 days after I said I had COVID. Then he wants to talk about how his throat has been hurting. I said, has it been hurting for a few days? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, you didn't think to mention that? Like, here's a COVID test for you too. Like, take it.
Did Matt y'all lock y'all up in your studio?
No, he's just been kind of like he's been the one getting us the Robitussin and all this. By the way, I don't think I'm ever gonna buy Dayquil ever again because like Robitussin is so much better. I don't know why
Yeah,
it was never on my radar, but the
yeah.
elderberry Robitussin
Oh
smacks.
yes, yes,
And
yes,
like
yes,
the marketing, like yeah, like the branding is beautiful. I'm
yes.
just like this makes so much more sense.
Consistently, Robitussin shows up, shows out, and gets you feeling good.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
yes.
I just rested up. I tested negative yesterday, so now I'm in a much better space. But yeah, I was in the gym and then I got COVID. And so then I had to stay away from the gym. And now I'll be going back to the gym. And I'm not training for anything in particular, but I'm still hitting the neighborhood. I'm still hitting the trails.
Mm,
I'm just exploring and I'm really just trying to like kind of go about everything without the like I don't know, pressure or expectation to like hit certain miles.
right.
Because sometimes that discourages me from actually getting out. But I will say that
Mm,
training for HTC really did get me kind of kickstarted and like gave me purpose to what I was doing. And it made me feel like I could really be out here again. Cause I think just being injured really kind of fucked me up mentally. Cause I was like, I
mhm.
can't.
Right, right,
And
right,
deep inside is like, girl, you're gonna get hurt. Stop.
right.
Stop it
let me
right
let me
now.
ask you let me ask you a question real quick. Because I remember when you first moved out to LA, you were concerned about cars, drivers, all of that energy and stuff while running out in LA, if I remember correctly. Like people just don't be paying attention out there. After a few months of living out there, running out there, how are you feeling about running in the city and traffic and all of that? Do you feel like it's better than you felt like it was when you first got there, or was it worse, or you just hit it right on the head?
I didn't know where I was gonna live. I think if I made that comment, I think now because I was kind of going off of where like Matthew's sister lives, and she lives in like a little bit more. It's like a lake view of
Okay,
LA. I would
okay,
compare it kind of to that. Um, and it's very in like it's a whole bunch of apartments. Where I live is super super residential, and it's all homes for the most part, and like duplexes.
right,
And
right, right.
so no, but it's like it's very peaceful, it's very quiet, it's very hilly. It's like it's a whole like it's a whole training area in my backyard for most part. It's like the
Dope.
fact that like the hills that I'm hitting, and I've talked about this before, is just crazy. And like every morning, like this morning, I'm like out and about, and like there's other people out getting in their walk, and everybody's kind of
Mhm.
just doing their thing out in Lakeview, and everybody's black, and I love it for the most part. Like I was like everybody, not everybody, but like damn near everybody's black. And so it's
Right.
like, yeah, it's like, it's just like how in Chicago when you see like the friend groups, like the middle-aged women out with their friends getting their walk in for the day, like a lot of
Right.
that. Like I ran into a trainer who's training another woman and like he wants to get into running, talking about you gonna coach me, and it's just like a whole thing. It's a very like I
Mm.
feel like it's like Hyde Park on steroids
Oh, wow.
and hilly. Yeah, it's like it's like if you took Hyde Park and multiplied it by like two or three, and then put it in the middle of like on the top of a hill.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That sounds fire. That sounds fire. So, not concerned about traffic too much
no,
where you're living right now. Drivers
because I'm not
texting.
I'm not running up and down main streets, and I
Main
like
streets. Got you.
yeah, like I don't
Got
need to be. I'm not running up and down La Brea, like or I live off Slauson, but I'm not running on Slauson because I can run into View Park, and then it's like
you. Right.
all it is residential homes, and everybody's mind their business.
I love that. I love
Yeah.
that. That's smooth. That's cool.
Hmm.
That's cool. That's cool. That's cool. You feel like the hills are really conditioning you. You feel like stronger. Like how is that coming?
It's crazy. It's crazy. I was looking at that diagram of all of the major marathons and how like flat Chicago is.
Yeah.
You know, the one that everybody that's been circulating, and I'm like, wow, like
Every year it circulates. Every year around that
every
time.
year. It's like, yeah, I don't think I've seen I don't, maybe I just haven't seen that graphic before. I feel like that was like one of the first time I've actually seen
It
the
usually
graphic
looks a
of
little
comparison.
different.
Yeah. And I was like, okay, is really wild just how flat like Chicago is, but like the greater Midwest, I'll say, is like for the most part.
Yeah.
Although
The
I will
Great
say
Plains.
driving through Great Plains are further to the east or west.
So we're not part of that?
I don't think so.
I don't know.
I don't think so. I don't think
Well, I'm gonna bust out the iPad real quick. Let's see where the Great Plains in
no.
America. Where does
Yeah,
that
it
lie?
it it hits right after Iowa
Right.
and is in the
What?
yeah, that's what I'm saying. This is the Great Plains. When you go to the Great Plains, like when we drove through I remember like when we were driving to LA and I was like, okay, we're in the Great Plains now. It's like though it's like it's different.
Yeah.
Um yeah,
Damn, you right.
yeah, it's like
It's like
right
North Dakota, South Dakota, Nebraska, Kansas, Oklahoma, Texas, New
down
Mexico,
in Texas.
Colorado,
Yeah.
Wyoming, Montana.
Yeah, and then because it's basically the way I see it is like because then that is the Great Plains is basically like the bottom of like the mountains because that's like
Right.
because then you're going and then right after that is the Rocky Mountains, but then like
Yeah.
mountains don't just sprout out of nowhere. There's like usually like a
Right,
flat,
right, right.
and that's what the Great Plains are.
So then, what we in? Like just nothing? Like we just got the Great Lakes, like I said, we just like water
You in the Midwest?
in the Midwest. All right, okay, all right,
I don't
okay, I'll
even
take
know.
that. I'll take that. I'll take that.
Hold on.
But Chicago do be flat as hell.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So it's flat. I wish I knew the technical term. I really
Of
do.
what?
Of the landscape of the Midwest, but I don't really know. Um, what were we talking about? Oh, the flatness of Chicago Marathon and just like how flat it is and like the way, yeah, running here. Like I live on a slight incline, so when I leave my house, I'm
Mhm.
starting my workout on a hill. And that's like my warm up, and then I can go downhill. But like, it's not, yeah, it's extreme inclines. It's really wild. I remember I sent Coach Robin one of my workouts when she put together my workouts for HTC,
Mhm.
and there was one where she was like, "This is like 10 feet per mile or like something like that because I ended up going the wrong way and then I hit like a really crazy hill and like had to go down and then go back up around it.
Damn.
And it's yeah, I mean it's kind of like I've never I'll just put it this way, yeah. I've never experienced this type of running. It doesn't matter like there's no trail in the Midwest that could compare to the sidewalk running that I'm doing. You feel me?
That's wild, yo. That's wild. Your ass don't have the strongest fucking hamstrings
It's stupid. And so, and
Yeah.
then that, what?
Nah, no, keep going, keep going.
That and also these workouts that Coach Rama put me on with, sent me this thing. I think I said it to you. It's called Mountain Legs. It's like a lunging. I think I mentioned this before, but like lunging circuits, and it's like 6 different types of lunges, and you're doing it, and you're like repeating that set like 5 times. I'm trying to do
Shit.
that at least twice a week. These are my
God.
yeah. And then just even and that's why I'm like, if I could just get in a couple miles a day, just the intense, just the crazy, it's like that I feel like is gonna keep me just like going.
Are you doing any like actual just intentional hill sprints? Or you just hitting the hills along your run?
Yeah, like today, sprinting is hard sometimes when it's like the hills are like, well, sometimes the inclines are not so bad and I could sprint up those, but then there's some inclines that it's like, and this is for the ones
Yeah.
who are watching on YouTube, but it's like here and then it's like like that.
Yeah.
It's hard to sprint up something that is like so vertical. And then, but then there's no other really option because everything is that. And like,
Because everything is
it's
that.
like what it's either this hill or that hill. And then it's like, okay. And
Uh,
I'm not in a place where I feel like I can properly sprint up these hills, but I can definitely run to the top. Right. At this point, it's can you get to the top?
right,
And then
basically.
and then when you get to the top, do you have enough energy to keep going?
Right,
But I
right,
hit
right.
that downhill real quick.
Real quick. Now, hey, now listen, running downhill takes some skill.
It does.
Like you can't it don't just happen. Like you gotta be mad confident, spread your toes, and hit that motherfucker. Like let your
Right.
legs move and
Be
keep
light
up
on your
with it.
knees,
Yeah. Hell yeah, hell yeah. Quick
extra
turnover. Quick turnover.
steps,
Quick turnover.
quick turnover. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So the Midwest doesn't have a name. I mean, it's called the bread basket, but that's because we be growing hella wheat. But
What?
the
I think it's because
typography,
of the wheat. Okay. I thought you said weed. I
yeah.
was like, I'm pretty sure it's wheat.
No, definitely
Okay.
said wheat. But it's like the
Okay.
Midwest has like lake, mountain, sweeping plains, and upland areas. So
Yeah.
definitely not part of
And prairies.
and prairies. We have prairies.
Yeah.
The fuck is a prairie?
Is prairie grass the stuff that you see that's being grown on the lakefront right now, the wild, that's like the because the grass that we know today, like in people's lawns, is not like is foreign to
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
that's it's the same out here. People to this
yeah.
day, like half my neighbors are trying to like maintain grass. And it's like we live in a desert.
Right.
This doesn't make any sense. Your shit is
Yeah.
brown for a reason. Like just get some rocks or just
Just get some
let that
rocks.
shit be
Not
some
even
gravel.
cement.
Get some cacti, put that shit in the ground. Like, why are you trying to grow grass in out California right now? In Southern California, are you insane? And so even in the Midwest, it's like grass is not, that's
I,
like from England.
I saw a video that said babies naturally avoid grass.
I saw that video. That kid said,
Yes.
the way the kids spread their legs out, I said, how do they do
I
that?
do not want to touch this shit. This is
Yeah.
ghetto.
Ghetto. What? This is not normal. Yeah. So yeah. So the Chicago. So technically, I think it's just like Midwest is it should be prairie grass. It should be long. It should be wildflowers.
There
But
we
people
go.
don't, But then we didn't like that.
We're not us. Them.
No. I listened to a whole group podcast about this and how like the grass that we know today became popular after like the World War II or some shit because everybody was like leaning into like being a part of the army and like the structure of everything and like everybody cut their hair really short and like everything was super just neat and everything had to be perfect.
Right. I didn't know that. That's interesting.
Yeah, it's a good podcast.
What? You listen to some random shit, man.
I do. I know. Don't let me go down this rabbit hole. Can we talk about HTC now?
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. I do. I did get Karen and Julius really good out of this podcast about rabies.
Oh my God.
It's the deadliest disease.
Rabies? That's why
Yeah,
everybody's so scared about it, and everybody's, like,
yeah,
scared of bats and stuff,
yeah.
and, like,
Because
because
like
it can, like, make you crazy.
you know you die when you get it.
But doesn't it
Like,
make you crazy first? And because it's trying, and because then it also wants to
mhm,
jump to another host, so then it makes you do
yeah.
some crazy
It,
shit so that
it
it can
make
jump.
listen. You develop a fear of water. It won't let you drink water
That's fucking
because the
because it
disease is
because
in your
it'll kill it.
saliva,
Yeah.
and so you drink the water and you swallow all that saliva, and so you get like a fear of water. But they was like, I was reading it, and it was like once you just like have like the smallest symptom of rabies, you dead. Like it's nothing that can be done to save
Why did you tell me this? It's crazy.
you.
How do you get rabies? From
Yeah.
animals?
Yeah, from animals with rabies. So
Oh
that's why if you
god.
get bit, you go get all them shots like as soon as possible. Because the thing is like it's trying to get to your brain. So wherever it bites you is where it starts, and it climbs like 2 to 3 centimeters every day along your nervous system. And you don't get symptoms until it gets to your brain. And the craziest part is after you die and they do the autopsy, they don't even find rabies in your body. Like it's kind of like my job here is done. It
That is
doesn't affect your
terrifying,
brain.
Ian. No.
It is wild. Like
No.
I'm gonna fuck you up even worse. Here we go. They now in all of human history, rabies has been a thing, right? The closest they've gotten to finding a way to save people, they saved like 5 people in the last few years. But it's a very controversial method. It's called the Milwaukee procedure because it was invented in Milwaukee, which is a wild story because these parents should be locked up, hands down. Like how your daughter just get bit by a bat in church in front of you and you just go home,
I
throw a
heard about
band-aid on
that
that shit.
story.
Right.
Yeah.
So what they do is since it's crawling up your nervous system into your since it's in your brain and it's doing things based on your nervous system, they turn off your body
Who what?
because your immune system can fight it. The problem is that your immune system need like 10 days to do its job, and the virus kills you before your immune system is able to kick in. So they like, all right, well, we'll turn your body off, turn your nervous system off, turn everything off to give time for your immune system to do what it need to do, get all its ducks in a row, and go kill the rabies. The problem is when they turn you back on, you might get locked in your body.
In a coma?
Nah, you awake,
A
but you
coma.
can't do nothing.
A coma.
No, a coma is when you like unconscious.
Yeah, but sometimes they think there's stuff going on in there.
They think that. What I'm talking about is you are active. You have
Like
brain
sleep
waves,
paralysis?
kind of like that. Yeah, kind of like that. But like
You're
you just
actually
locked.
awake.
You're locked in the box. You are locked in your body.
Paralyzed?
Your body doesn't move. You can't do nothing. No blinking, no nothing. Like you can't do nothing. You just locked in there in
Oh,
your body.
I'm good.
And then like if they are able to turn your body back on, get your body back on, like you'll never be the same. Like
Oh, yep. No, thank you.
yeah,
Mm-mm.
that
Thank you
shit
for the
crazy.
information. I'm now scared.
Yes.
I
Yes.
know. Yeah, that's crazy. But so if you get bit, go get that shit. Pretend like you
Directly.
have rabies with urgency.
Directly.
Move with some swift urgency.
Yes. Yes. Because the minute you get a little finger shake, a little something, a little temperature, a little headache, it's over. You're dead. There's nothing we can do. Goodbye.
Mm-mm. Nope.
All right.
Mm-mm.
That was yeah, this is still a running podcast. Something for y'all to think about on y'all trail runs. How was ACC? Speaking of wilderness.
Yeah, HTC was a ride. It was wild. First of all, I want to shout out the team at like the Gumbo Fit team for just like putting and organizing everything.
Mm,
We as a team really did that. And I think we should be very proud of ourselves.
there you go.
And because what we did was something that like not other teams were really put in a position to do. Cause like nobody invited us to go to HTC.
Right.
Nobody said like, hey, Court, sis, Gumbo Fit, guys. I see what you're doing. I think you should come run HTC. Oh my God, I love you. It was like no one, it wasn't even it wasn't, it was like us saying, what do we want to do? Oh, we want to do relay racing. Oh, HTC sounds cool. It's sponsored by Nike. That should be something like it was something where
Right.
like, if we're going to do this, let's do it in a way that seems a little bit approachable, because like in my thought, I was like, I really would love for when I think about any time that I've done like group trips in as a child, like it's everything is like figured out, everything is paid for. And I love, and I think that us as adults should be able to experience that still as an adult. And I think like, especially with the energy that our community puts into itself, it's like we as a community deserve to have a trip, kind of covered in the sense of like flights, hotel, transportation, stuff like that. So like I really tried my best to make it comfortable and easy in that way for our other runners on the team. But like our leadership, like the directors of Gumbo, like did that shit. We did that. So just want to start that off with that. Because once we got there, it was a lot of fun. We had Kevin and Stone.
Wait.
What?
How much did the trip cost your runners?
They didn't pay for anything.
Nothing.
We covered their costs for everything. Their flights.
Not a flight. Not a room.
No.
Nothing.
No.
All right. I just need you to, because you was hinting at that, but you wasn't saying that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like they got the whole team there together, focused on the race, enjoying the experience, not worrying about anything. Like that's like, I ain't gonna make you say how much the sticker price was, but it was something that deserves an applause, especially for bringing so many black and brown runners to an event that I'm pretty sure was not, where we haven't really been represented in.
I'll put it this way. There were 1,000 teams. 1,000. And we found this out when we got there because Kevin was like, he's a videographer. Y'all know who he is. He was like, Courtney, 1,000 teams. He kept coming up to me like 1,000. There's 1,000 teams. And I'm like, yeah, I didn't even realize. He's like, that's 2,000 vans. Cause every team has to have 2 vans. At least. Cause there's a van 1, van 2.
Yeah.
So then we started to realize like, oh, so like the traffic that people are talking about when we're like cause like the whole like guidebook manual, it talks about like, make sure that you're getting ahead of schedule and that you're not lagging behind and like you get to the next switch point like right away because there's going to be traffic. Like in my mind, I was thinking, oh, like rush hour. Traffic. Like, nah, nigga, we're the traffic. There's 2,000 vans on the road. Like, what? This is crazy. So it was just crazy. Yeah, absolutely insane. And
wow.
Yeah.
And did you feel the immensity of 1,000 teams at some point? Like, or did it just really like spread out?
It spread out because for a good example, our team started Friday morning at 2:30 a.m. Okay. We had to be at Mount Hood at 2, we were at Mount Hood like 45 minutes early. So like 1:45. Emily started at 2:20 a.m.
In the morning. AM.
No. I'm sorry. 3:20. They got there around 2:30, 2:40. So she started at like 3:20 a.m. Friday morning. Lululemon, our friends at Lululemon, the grocery run crew that they started at 1:00 in the afternoon. So,
oh shit!
Like that's the disparateness of like timing, and I'm sure they weren't even the last runners.
So it was a rolling start.
Okay. They were there all day. That's more than, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and then like the elites, they start way later, I think, like afternoon, because they finish it super fast. Right. But yeah, there was Nike teams there. Like I saw Jerry afterwards at the end. So it was like he was running with his crew. or not his crew, but he was running with other, I think he was, I don't know. I don't think he was with the Eakins, but the Eakins were there.
Right, 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 right.
So there was like people that we knew that were there, and it was crazy because the closer we got to the actual like race day or race week, we were realizing that like a lot of our friends were actually there. And like, I know, yeah. So that was cool. I flew into Portland on Wednesday because we wanted to give everybody like 2 full days in Portland to just like get the last minute things that they needed for us to like, come together as a team, get our shakeout run in on Thursday. We did that early in the morning on Thursday just to get us off of our legs. After that, we then like, shouts out to the Hyatt because they like gave us a group rate for all the hotel rooms that we had. Mind you, this was altogether 16 people.
How many rooms?
8.
Damn.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was from like Wednesday to Sunday. We were able. It was I think it was Diana or Maya that came up with not Diana, Danica or Maya that came up with the idea of like half of the people like van 1 had to check out of the rooms on Friday, and then they checked back in to another room on Saturday because like we weren't going back to the rooms for Friday night, basically.
Right.
But we were able to go back to the hotel room and after the first leg and take showers at the hotel because at Mount Hood, the course goes from Mount Hood into Portland. And then once you get to that point, leg 2, leg 3 will push you out too far because you're going to the coast.
Right. That's smooth. So then y'all got the opportunity. I bet you that shower made a big difference.
Ooh, and I took a nap. Oh my God.
Let them know.
Yeah. And this is also something that I really appreciated because we did like a last minute switch where we ended up having like, we weren't going to have drivers. But then we ended up having Jamie and Danica come as well. And they were the drivers / like van, managers. Because we have van captains who were runners, but they were van managers and they like helped the runners out. But then like Danica had a great idea of like having the hotel restaurant make us potatoes and bacon. And it was like potatoes and bacon and something else like for when we did come back to the hotel room. So we all like had our first leg. We sat down and it was like eggs, potatoes, and bacon. And I was like,
oh, that's
it was so good. I was like, oh my God. Like, I didn't even realize. Yeah. I was like, girl, yeah. So she did that for van 1 and we did it. I was like, the potatoes were just like so good.
Yo, I love it.
And that was like the last time that I really felt like I could eat because there were other opportunities to eat. But I was like, by the time I was hungry and ready to eat, I was like too tired. There's a point before my 3rd leg because I was runner 12. So I had to go last on each leg, which was kind of strange because everybody else was like, yeah, I'm done. Leg 1 done. Leg 2 done. And I was always like, oh my God, I have to do. And then I would do mine. I'd be like, yeah. And then everybody'd be like, leg 3. And I'd be like, fuck. It's just like, I just felt behind every time. And so there, yeah. And so like we, I don't know. Let me backtrack. We got to the hotel. Hyatt really was like super hospitable, very nice. Nicole, who coordinated everything with us, like she was like super nice on site, like answered any questions we needed. We were able to do meal prepping or like sandwich prepping, van prepping in their conference room, which was very sweet. Athletic Greens came through. They sent a box to the hotel with like packets of to-go Athletic Greens for the team to try, which was nice, and gave us like some dry socks to have if we needed them to like change into after our legs. So that was really helpful. And then, but yeah, it was everything. Cause it's like, it's mandatory to have, because a lot of the running is at night, specifically because of like the legs that we were doing, because of the time that we started in the darkness.
Right.
right? 3:30 in the morning, darkness.
Right.
And then we had leg 2 was in kind of the daylight, but then everything else was in the darkness again. Like I'm
Right.
pretty sure I did my leg 2 in the dark. Leg 3 was like like 8 o'clock in the morning, or like it was like 7-ish or something like that. So it was like the
Mm,
sun had just come up. So
right.
everybody was in the dark most of leg 2 and leg 3. So like,
Wow.
yeah, like I would say most of our running was a lot of it was in the dark. But and it took
Wow.
us like 38 hours to do it. So um
Damn.
yeah. And so it's like one after the other with the vans, right? And no
Mhm.
stopping. Uh but so like you have to have mandatory is like a reflective vest, headlamp. I got the little clip-on things. Like those things were mandatory. Um and once you start and you're ready to go. And like it's pretty crazy how like and everybody's got different vans. Everybody does the like paint on their vans, like the because we
Right.
did like our van thing. Everybody had their saying. People put up their kills on their window.
Yeah. Kill. That's wild.
Yeah, so when you're
That's like
done
when
with
you
it,
pass somebody?
yeah. So you come
Wow.
back with your thing and you'd be like, how many kills you have? And you chalk it up on the board. So then like you kind of figure that out. And then yeah, and then like some people would have like leg 2, leg 3, and then you check it off. Like they depending on how big your window is, a lot of people have
Right.
the big like camper vans.
Yeah, yeah,
And them things have big windows, so then they would put all sorts of shit on theirs. We had like a
yeah.
minivan. And
Right.
so I would say majority, we thought that we were going to be one of the only crews with like a minivan. Cause like
Mhm.
when like by the time that we signed up, we were basically told immediately that we had to get vans because
Right.
all of the other vans were going to be taken.
Right.
And for those who care about logistics, like if you're planning on doing HTC next year, reserve a van now.
Right. Right.
Just
Right.
do that now
That's what Candace
because
was saying.
yeah, like at the end of the day, everybody, it's like either you're gonna, because if you want one of the ones that are like have the big sliding open door and like all this shit, you can do that. It's fine. It's a vibe, but also it's not necessary because if you're in a regular van, you're a little bit more nimble. There was times where there was like a transition point where vans had to like just be back behind each other and move in this like
Mhm.
around this circle because there wasn't any place to park.
Right.
And like the bigger vans, and like some people were just looping around until their runner came.
Mhm.
But then if you had your runner and you wanted to get out of the line, there was like a teeny tiny little area on the side of this gravel road that like you could kind of get out and go around. If you had a big ass van, you wouldn't be able to do that the same way.
Right.
So like keeping those things in mind where it's like if you're trying to like just
Right. If
know
you
what the bigger the van, the not you're not going to be moving around as easily.
Right, 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 right. That makes sense. That makes sense. I was wondering, like, how y'all was dealing with being in vans, like in minivans. Like, was there enough space for the runners? Did people feel comfortable? Were they able to rest up when they weren't running? Like, how was that?
Yeah, I mean, we had a driver obviously, and then there was a front seat which was pretty comfortable. There was a sweat seat where like if you're the runner that just ended, that's the seat that you sit in cuz you're sweaty.
Hmm.
That's a thing. And then, in the middle, like in the back of a van, the middle one, you can like stretch your legs out because
Hmm.
the 2 chairs are on the other side, so that's helpful. But it's like you're moving so fast and you're going that like you're
Right,
not even like there was
right.
one time where we all were like, "Oh, let's go to sleep." I think van 1 like and there's also nap areas at the switch spots. So there's whole like areas that
Oh
are
wow,
like sectioned off and people are like in sleeping bags sleeping. Which I'm
wow.
like, I don't really see how y'all have time for that. 'Cause we were on the move. Like, I don't know. I mean, maybe in like the major transition spots, but like I was always on edge, like, oh, well, we
Was
gotta
van one and
go.
van two always together?
No, van one, when van one is active, van one is going. And so then like van two, then when it's when van one goes in the morning, like when they started at like at 3:30, we were able to wake up at like 6. And then because right, you know the time, the running times, right?
Right,
So
right,
then
right.
you
Of
can
course.
estimate when they're going to be done, because there's a
Right.
whole sheet graphic that can show you like when you are estimated to have your switch points, major transitions. I can't remember the name.
Yeah, got you.
Major exchanges is what they're called. So then like we woke up a little bit later, met them at the major exchange, waited a little bit, did our major exchange, then we're active. Van one went back to the hotel, they took a nap. That was that napping time, right? But then they're as soon as they have to plan that out because they only have like maybe 3 hours or so, or a few
Mhm.
hours, and then they have to meet us at the next exchange, and then they're
Right.
active. And then once we were in the second leg,
Like past Portland, once you got through Portland.
yeah, once we were starting second leg, because the second leg starts in Portland, and then that first van is going. We we were like, we had just ended ours, so then we were at the hotel eating,
Mhm.
sleeping, but then we had to go meet them when they were done, and then they met us at the end of our leg at the
Right.
other exchange, and so like you're getting a few hours, like when I say a few, I would say like 3 to 4.
Oh, okay.
But you're
Okay, that makes sense.
driving all the way to the major exchange, and you
Right.
can hang out and chill. You can lay out on the grass, but then they have all
That's
these rules.
oh,
In
okay.
some areas, you can't lay on the grass. You can't lay on the ground. You'll get
Mm,
disqualified. You can't pee outside. You'll get
mm,
disqualified.
mm.
There's like all these like technicalities of like, if you're gonna nap, you have to nap in a designated area, because I think they just want to make sure people aren't getting like ran over because there's so many vehicles.
Yeah.
Um, And then at some of the exchange points, at the minor exchange points where it's just your vans exchanging runners, there's like food, there's porta potties at every single exchange point. There's always a place to go to the bathroom.
Dope.
And then two, like if you are a runner from Portland, I think you're expected to have to bring in like 2 volunteers for the race.
Wow.
Yeah, so like there's hella volunteers, like, and when you get into leg 2 and you start really running in the middle of fucking Oregon, in the middle of nowhere, and the sun goes down, and then there's darkness, there's no street lamps.
That's wild.
There's no, it's just you and your headlamp, and then there's some runners, mind you, there's also a walking race happening at the same time. And people are walking to the coast, and I'm like, when did y'all start? And when do y'all expect to be done? I'm confused.
Right. How long have
Because that
y'all
is
been here?
200 miles, you know?
Right.
So there's runners and there's walkers, but like you're not getting past. It's like there becomes a point, I think, at like, for me, it was like leg 2, where it's like you're not seeing tons of people. And
Mm.
then you're out in the middle of nowhere and you're running on the street. And then there's volunteers like outside their house. Like they have like lights on the street, to show you like which way to go if there's like a
Mhm.
section that could be unclear. Like there's never a point where you don't feel like you know where you're going, which is great because there's always
Yeah.
volunteers. But
Yeah.
there is a lot of moments where you're like, damn, there's no, I don't know. At the on the other side of this ditch, I have no idea how far this goes down. Because you're like,
Mm.
you're up high and you know that if it goes down, but you don't know to where.
Right.
Because all you see is what's your headlamp. And then it makes you go faster because you're just like, I just want to get done with this shit. And then like once leg 2 happened, when leg 1 happened, everybody was like, damn, we gotta do this 2 more times. And when leg 2 happened, everybody was like, fuck. Leg 3, I was delirious. Leg 2, I was actually delirious because it was the middle of the night. I was asking for chili. I remember at one point I stuffed a boiled egg in my mouth, but like my eyes were closed. I was just
Don't
trying to
even
put,
know. Just whatever. Oh, just give it to me. Oh.
like, I couldn't eat another peanut butter jelly sandwich.
That is hilarious. But you got to eat on these runs. Like these long, super long runs, like you need food, you need calories.
Yeah, I
Cliff
was
and
not
Morton's
doing
ain't
it.
gonna do it for you.
Yeah, and that's the thing. They have people who are selling food. They only take cash, but I didn't have
What?
the
Who
energy
out
to
here with
go.
cash? Like who?
They
And
tell
who
you
trying to
that
count?
beforehand. And I know. And I'm like, where's the ATM? Nowhere to be found. Um, They tell you
When?
that beforehand, but I forgot to get cash, to be honest, and then
Yeah.
I didn't feel like eating anything.
I mean, yeah, but you gotta eat anyway.
Yeah, but I was not it was not it for me. I was like, "I need to go." I was tired. I wanted to sleep. You feel me? That's why I was like, "I'll take the egg because I know it's good for me. Imma eat this vegan, Imma eat this chili. I know this is good for me." But I and then Mike came out of nowhere with a whole burger, and I said, "Nigga, where did you get that?" He smashed that shit so fast, and I didn't have the energy to ask for one either, and then we had to go. There's no
That is
time.
funny as hell. Where did you come from with a burger, bro? I love it. I love it. Man, that's smooth. That's smooth. So, all right. So we running, we doing it. We hitting all of these legs. We coming up on the coast. What was the finish of the ACC like?
Um, I don't know, I'm still, in the darkness in my mind. Like, running in the darkness was the craziest shit. That shit was crazy.
Oh, that shit. I'd have been scared. I ain't gonna stunt.
I mean, the thing is like you're so high on adrenaline and you're just doing it, and then and you're just like passing people, da da da. It's fine, blah blah. And then there's vans also driving by you, and they're like woo, and then some people, you know how it's so because I brought up the 1,000 teams before because I also wanted just to mention that we could see all of the runners of color, and then we were also every time we got to an exchange point every now and then you see the same people. And it gets to a point where you're running kind of at the same pace as some vans. And
Mhm.
so you kind of were you were in a community with these people because you was kind of
Right.
hopping from one thing to the next and you was seeing a lot
Right.
of familiar faces. And that
Right.
part was a lot of fun because you're not
Was
speaking, but
good.
you're
Right. I see your ass.
I see you, yes. And so there were people of color. I did see a few people of color. Obviously, it
That's
was
up.
in a sea of whiteness, but that's to be expected.
I love it. I love it.
Um, but I just I don't know. There's just a lot of shit. Oh, David. After so we oh my god. Okay, so
Yeah.
the first leg was really great. Everybody had their shit together. Everyone got sleep the night before. Everybody was cool. Then we went back to the hotel. Okay. Then we told everybody we're not going back to the hotel. Kelsey could not get. She was like, "Is there any way that we can?" I was like, "Because it was the night before," and she's like, "But how should I?" Because you know how Kelsey. And I'm just like, "Girl, we're gonna come back to the hotel one time, and that's the only time we can come back to the hotel. After that first leg, we're gonna be too far from everything to be coming back. So bring all the things that you need to run and have it ready for tomorrow because we're you know what I mean? Make your bag
Is
so
that
that you don't have to think
is
about
that
it even when we come back because you don't know how tired you're gonna be after that first leg. So I was like, so there's that. But then we get back into the van, we ready to go. We start our second leg. Everything's great. We saw van one. We're like, yeah, go both
yeah.
in. You know
Let's
what I
go.
mean? We get lit. Blah, blah, blah. Chicago in the house. You know what I mean? It's all of that. And then it's about time for David to run. And he's after Kara. Kara is our first runner. He's the second. Okay. He realizes he's looking for his shoes. And and he has one race shoe in one of his hands. And he has a trail shoe in his other hand.
My man's packed mismatched suits.
He don't have either or of the other pair of that. You know what I mean? He one of each.
One of each.
He left for leg one with all of his shoes, but when he came back to the hotel, for some reason, he must have taken them out, and then he thought that he had them both, all four, in his bag when we left. Did he? No, he did not.
My man did not run with mismatched suits.
When I tell you he was salty, and you can see that he was getting to the point where, you know what I mean, where you start realizing everything because it's like, yeah, I don't have my shoes, but then you start realizing just how that impacts you.
Yep.
Because
That
this is,
impacts everybody.
and it impacts everybody else. And this is
Yes.
where, and this is what we talk about when it talks about you could have fast runners, you could have your dream team, but shit like that can happen. Okay. And then I just have to share this because Kelsey was laughing the entire time. And I was like, yo,
Just pouring
Kelsey, I
salt.
need you to relax. I need you to relax. And she's because she can relate because I was
Right.
like, this is gonna be funny, but it's not funny right now. I need you to stop. And so it was just a hilarious and then she had one of our disposable cameras and like took a picture and she was like, it was funny. It was a funny situation. David did not find it funny. No one
No,
found
he
it
did not.
funny. We was trying to find him shoes. We was like, cause like we had just left, the vans had just separated. And so we were like, okay, we found out that Jamie wears his size in shoes in men. And so we were like, do you want to wear Jamie's pegs? And he's like, I'm not trying to wear no pegs. I said, nigga, you ain't got no shoes.
You ain't got no shoes. The fuck, nigga. That wasn't really a question.
You trying to be picky? What?
Nigga, that was a courtesy question. Wear Jamie's shoes.
And so he decides instead that he wants to wear Mike's race shoes, which are like 2 sizes too small. Not like a half size too small.
My man's
like
is wild.
2 sizes too small. His shit was scrunched.
My man's is wild.
Then he went out and ran like 8 miles.
I know that shit hurt. I know it hurt. Because his feet was already also swollen.
Because he had already ran one leg.
That shit hurt. He played that shit off when he came back, didn't
he? He was just like, whatever. Yeah, you know.
Yeah, I'm good.
Right. But he also was hurt. You could tell that he was he was pissed. He was fucking pissed. And everybody else was just kind of like, it's okay. Shit happens. We're going to figure it out. Whatever. Kelsey's giggling in the back. It's just like.
Told y'all we should have went back to the hotel.
Oh my God. I'm like, we ain't going back. And so look, we figure it out. He ends up getting shoes that better fit him in the third leg. But that second leg, it was one of his harder legs. Like it was the difficult one that was longer and he was planning on crushing that shit. And he still finished it really well, but it was and the hill, he started that shit on rolling hills. It was a lot.
Boy,
so like,
moving.
Little things like that happen. Also, we had a moment too where these newer cars have like emergency brake on them, and it's like a switch. It's not even like it's like your car.
Don't got the lever.
No, and so like, and there's these strings that are like. They're really organized for this race, and like their parking is very organized. They have these ropes that separate the parking, and I was trying to open up the back, and the rope kept getting in the way. I said, Mike, can you pull up the car? And he was just like, yeah. And the car was still sitting. And I was getting to the point where I was like, Mike, move the car. And I had to ask him several times. And I was like, Brett, move the car. And he's like, I can't move it. And he's just like, I think the car is broken. Like, I think I can't, da, da, da. And so I'm just like, bruh. And now I'm getting irritated. I'm like, what do you mean you can't move the car? Like, what? And I'm like, and of course the emergency brake is on. And we're just like, it's just little shit. And nothing crazy happened. No one got hurt, but it was just like little things like that.
Y'all brain off.
Everybody's brain was off. Nobody was thinking straight. Everybody was like, what the fuck is going on? No one wanted to drive.
I said the car was done.
I was like, what do you mean the car's not working? Because that shit would have been a problem. Then come to find out, Van 1 also had a similar situation where they thought that their van was broke.
Motherfuckers like, we brought drivers. Why we got to drive?
I was like, these are 2022s. They're not breaking. They're not. Move this shit
up.
Oh
my God.
Oh my God. So yeah, it was just a lot of that, a lot of goofiness, a lot of just like what is going on. But yeah, so I ended the race. And it was one of the most beautiful little runs from like from this road. The thing is, the whole time I didn't know where we were. There was also a 6-hour block where no one had service.
Damn.
Like, and when I say no service, it wasn't even like oh, maybe I can send this and just let it load very slowly. It was
Yeah.
like
There's nothing.
3 dots, like no cell service. And it was it was 6 hours long.
Wow.
And so, like, I mean, the vans found each other. We did what we needed to do. Because we were on a system by that time,
Mm.
but there's no posting on social media. There was no nothing. It was just
Yeah.
you in the
Just
middle of Oregon, us in the middle of
yes.
Oregon with no service, and
Yes.
everybody was just, and it was just like that moment is just so interesting because at that time it was like we were with all these people with no service, but we were
Mhm.
in community with these people. It was very interesting. And I just remember kept checking my phone, like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
Um,
It's over. The world ended when I was in Oregon.
yeah, I would definitely do it again. But I think, yeah, I'll get to that later. But yeah, so I ended the race and it was started. My last run was like a 3 mile, no, it was 5 miles. It was 5 miles. And it was like on a trail in like a proper trail in the woods in the middle of like the trail wasn't even really a trail. It was like a little gravel space, but it was kind of overgrown. And then it opened up into the road. And then the road brought me down to the water. And you literally like run to the beach, down the sidewalk by the beach, and then you put your first step onto the beach. And then the finish line is on the beach. It's like
That's
a
dope.
very cool moment.
That's
Uh,
dope.
yeah. And then the
That's
whole
dope.
team is there and they like ran behind me and we finished together.
That's fire. I heard the after party was like 12 hours long.
So that's what I thought. But then I realized, oh, like everybody's starting at different times. So it has to be all day long because it has to support everybody that's finishing.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, it was from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m.
Yeah.
And
That's wild.
yeah, and it like we got there and it was like 8:30.
Damn. So
So
y'all got there before the party started.
it was, and everybody's like, this is underwhelming. It's like it hasn't started yet. But they had breakfast and that's the thing.
Yeah.
Everywhere we went, there was breakfast or there was food and there was somewhere to go to the bathroom. And the Nike tent area
Uh-huh.
had showers. Like they had
Oh
trailers that had
shit.
showers and trailers that had like nice bathrooms. And then they had like a whole separate, they had like a massage area and then they had like a nap area that had like a hammock in it.
Oh, that's fire.
Yeah. And then they had like these sand sculptures. Um and then they had like a merch tent outside of the Nike tent, like in the general pop area. There
Of
was like a
course, of
merch
course.
area, and then there's also like other brands popping up. So it was cute, and it was all on the beach.
Damn.
Hmm.
Damn. That sounds beautiful.
Yeah.
That's time. I hope 7 on Sundays can get it. We're doing a street project, but I hope 7 on Sundays can get to the ACC. That sounds really beautiful, really fun.
You definitely can. You definitely can. I would definitely love to do it again. I would just love to be invited. If I do it again, someone else is planning it. Someone else is paying for it. Someone else is,
Doing
you
all
know what I
that.
mean? Because like if I was the one with, I had, you know what I mean? I was Gumbo Media was, like Nike running supported us and believed in the deck that was created and the presentation that was presented to them
Mhm.
to support us, right? But again,
That's
we
the
weren't
skill I need.
we weren't invited by them. We said we should do this and you should pay for it, and
Yeah.
it's like they were really gracious and like very nice and welcoming and they really supported us, but they also were just kind of like, we don't normally do this,
Yeah.
you know? Like, because
Yeah.
there were Nike teams there, but like all the other Nike teams that were there were like elite runners.
Yeah.
You feel me? Like it wasn't, it's kind of like, what? Who,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
There were
Yeah.
no other groups like us there.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah, I
That's at
mean,
least
like
how I felt. I feel like it was weird.
because they don't see the cachet in it. You know, they can sell the fact that the lead runners was there. There's marketing material, there's promotion, there's all of that. There's no cachet in the community run club being there and going and stuff like that, man.
I think now they
That's
do
dope to
though.
show. I mean,
Because
I
I
hope
talked to the
so.
Nike, well, I talked to the Nike running social media people, and they're saying that they really are like doing. They see the benefit in focusing on community more than just like
Yeah,
the elite runner all the time. Obviously, the elite runner is important, and no matter what, they're going to talk about it because that's that shit.
yeah,
But I think that there's definitely space now. And I think, you know, and like they had us do a takeover of their Nike running stories. So like,
that's
and
dope.
everybody was eating it up, right?
Yeah,
Nike Chicago loved it. The Nike running team loved it. Like it was, they loved it. So now
right,
it's like they see it. So there's just shouldn't be any, and that's why before, when I was speaking about this before, is that like my hope is that from this effort that was put forward, my hope is that truly it has created space in this area of the sport. And I like that's what I've always functioned. The concept of creating space in sport, like this is what I'm talking about. It's like
right,
if I know that I can potentially do this just because of the resources that I have, then that opens a door gateway for others to do it too. Like there shouldn't be any, but I also am a little tired, to be honest, because being the first to do things a lot is a lot of pressure and it takes a lot of emotion and also is like it feels like I'm an artist and I'm just sensitive about my shit type stuff. You know what I mean?
hmm right.
That's where I'm at right now because I'm hella grateful and everything was really great, but I don't believe anyone really quite understands the efforts that were put forward to even make it happen fully. Even when I
Yeah,
talk
nah, I don't
about
think
it, because
anybody would.
like nobody is. And so it's like, I, first of all, you have to stop expecting people to feel that way or to understand fully. But it's also like, respect is in order, I guess, is what I'm trying to say.
Who not respecting you?
Yeah.
Because I mean,
I'll just
it's
leave it there.
you doing a lot, man.
Yeah.
It's appreciated over here. Because I'm definitely like, hey, you see that deck though, because niggas ain't got them skills. Listen, Mark, listen, this speed project is about to be a lift, man.
Mm.
I'm looking at numbers and it's looking like, and then it ain't even like I don't even think it's gonna be a similar situation as to what y'all was doing, but we actually it might be because like we doing like 300 something miles.
Mhm. That's
We
a
running for
lot.
like 2-3 days.
Yeah.
Um, and so figuring out the logistics of that, you know, it's
And you have
gonna
to
hit the
make your own
pockets, but
course. You have to decide what your course is going to be. And
we
isn't there
probably gonna do
options? But
no, we probably gonna do the OG course.
okay. Yeah,
It's our
keep it
first
easy
time.
because that's kind of crazy to be just.
Yeah. Tim from Bandit, he offered us to use maybe, you know, the route that they used last year, but and I'm like, I don't know, we might just stick with the OG joint, you
Mhm.
know. But we are trying to move as fast as we possibly can, maybe break a record, beat some people and stuff like that. But that's going to require a big system, having everything that we need. Looking to do like an RV and a van and not
Mhm.
two vans and stuff
Yeah.
like that. So I don't know. We're trying to figure it out because it's on B run. I think it's like we looking at like I think it's like somewhere between 12 to 16, like 12 of us.
Yeah.
I think it might be like 12 of us, maybe a couple more than that. And
Mhm.
that's just the runners. I
Yeah.
think we trying to have like a few helpers and stuff like that. And of course, the same as you, we trying to reduce the costs or bring it down all the way down to zero, like with our runners,
Mhm.
if
Mhm.
our runners are listening, shouts out to Courtney, but set your expectations lower. sexual expectations a lot lower than that. We'll see what happens, but I don't know. We're gonna definitely be knocking on some doors, trying to see how we can raise the money to make that happen.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, and I'm always here. Because that's how it should be.
Hell yeah.
Mhm.
Hell fucking yeah, man. Like it's all an experience. And I know me and your job is me and yours, me and you, like we really want our runners to experience as much of this community as possible. I personally wish we were doing a lot of these things together. Like I wish 7 on Sundays was down there with Gumbo Fit in some form of fashion. I wish I was gonna be at Spree Project along with us and stuff like that. But it's pretty cool to watch y'all like have that moment onto yourselves, and we look forward to coming right behind you all and experiencing as soon as we can. Cause like that's what I want to do. Like honestly, like outside of these relay races, like I would love to do like running retreats, stuff like that.
Same.
That was brought to my attention by Aaron and stuff. And I love the
Yeah.
idea, I love the concept, and want to do stuff like that and do more of it as much as possible. But I love the story. Just happy to hear it. I've been waiting fucking weeks.
I know,
to
right?
hear it.
And I said this too to you personally, like, I think that there's just so much to digest with about HTC that it's like we're gonna have other guests on throughout in the community, and I think like continuing to talk about it, I think is okay. Like it's done. It was it was what it was. But I think as runners, like we talk about this all the time. We don't always have the time we don't have the opportunity to talk about an experience that we've had weeks after because people have moved on. But it's like
Right.
that experience is now going to inform other experiences and who you are as a runner. So I feel like it's worth bringing up no matter what. Like when we had Kayla Jeter on, we asked her about her experience with HTC and the Speed Project, and she lit up, even though that was however long ago. Like these experiences are forever going to be with us. And I would say too, like I think it's also just because this experience will bond your team like no other. Like y'all think you're close now, but then like once you get in the vans and you start going and you really experience something that's like out of the city and something that other people haven't really experienced around you, like that's we bonded for life type shit.
Right. I love that shit.
Yeah.
I love that. That's fire. That's fire. Well, your man's got to go to work. I gotta make this money. Your man's got to go to work, y'all. Listen. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all. Thank you for coming back for another episode. It's the Runners Club podcast. You already know what we need you to do. We need you to like. We need you to subscribe. We need you to hit, drop a a review. Do all of those things. These are the things that help us grow, help us continue to build the show, help us put ourselves in front of more and more runners just like you so we can continue to do this. Chicago Marathon is coming up. Trust the process. You are good. You are ready. You are capable of killing this race. You feel me? With that being said, I'm Ian. Have a good ass day.
Peace.
Peace.